Very, very welcome. Once upon a time, Jody Jensen and myself and many other friends who are not with us anymore, but we had a discussion about what are we doing here, what are we doing in Kőszeg, and this grouping here and bringing people here and sacrificing a lot of things which are given in bigger centers. There are a lot of advantages, but the biggest one is that we are working with people exclusively with those whom we like. So you're at the watch. And of course there are newcomers, and they are very, very, very welcome. People we have not seen before, or not too often, from very many different countries. I think, I don't know, correct me, probably people are gathering here from 25, 30 countries from today on. Unfortunately, some of them are available only online, or we are available for them only online, and I don't go into details now. It's hopefully going to change in the future. So very, very welcome. And today is an informal opening. What we decided is that it's mostly for introducing each other to each other and having a chance to go a little deeper in terms of conversations and self-introduction. So, my pleasure. Well, we have here a lot of news. First of all, that we are small, but we are getting bigger. We have new partners, several partners, and one of those partners is the United Nations University, UNU, who decided to experiment with the idea to establish a new institute in Kőszeg. But this goes back to 21 March when Professor Shen Xiaomeng came first to Kőszeg, and ever since she's a frequent visitor, when we started to contemplate. So we didn't rush. We gave us time, and well, we managed, and I'm very proud to tell you that both the United Nations University's Council and the Rector himself and the Hungarian government decided that it was a good idea. So it is written in a kind of a law, a bill, which was ratified by the Hungarian parliament, and it will soon be published in the Hungarian Review and Gazette. And it is it's a slow process, but it started, and we are very, very happy about it. What does it mean? That the United Nations University, we will listen to Professor Marwala, the rector of UNU, is a global enterprise, both academic and practical in terms of producing recommendations and suggestions to all level of existence, global, regional, and local. And this was originally the basic idea of establishing iASK, the Institute of Advanced Studies, Kőszeg. But honestly, we need partners for that big project. Yeah. Yes, Hungary is small, Kőszeg is small is beautiful, but we need a larger cooperation possibilities, and this is now fortunately really given. And also, we need universities of scale who are expanding, who have a lot of students, and some of them are interested in top high-level research projects, PhD and postdoc. And this is what we try to provide. So we have another partner, now the university, what we call Ludovica, who's represented by Rector Gergely Deli, who's here with us. Thank you for coming. And so this triangle, basically in my eyes, and sounds maybe not too modest, but is bringing us closer to our idea, which was formulated about 15 years ago, we called the Future University. But so we came out with a book of very interesting provocative articles and papers called The Future University, but the subtitle is In Central and Eastern Europe. So we understand that we should not superimpose our model or whatever thinking or practice upon the entire world. So here we are, and as all of you know, this is the 8th UNESCO Winter School. This program has a name, MOST, in Hungarian Most, right now. But so many people say that we sing Most, but it's not bad. Most is the management of social transformation in global terms, and we became a UNESCO chair 15 years ago, thanks to Her Excellency Katalin Bogyai, and so she was very, very helpful in her time of being a UNESCO ambassador and general secretary later. So here we are in the middle of construction of something new. We are in Kőszeg, very proudly, which is not necessarily the center of the universe, but the center of a very interesting part of the world, Central and Eastern Europe. And here I have to very proudly announce that we have new partners from what we call the Western Balkans, mostly Albania and Kosovo and Macedonia, and also Serbia, of course. And people are coming, young people, young researchers, senior ones, regularly here. And we established, so Jody Jensen established a year and a half ago, what we call an EU Balkans Observatory, which shows our, first priority. That this new construction is not for this small, beautiful city, Kőszeg. It's for the region, it's for Europe, but it's also for global purposes, to show what the hidden treasures of these regions are, this city. And I think I should stop here and give the word to Rector Marwala, who is the first time in Kőszeg and who had the great luck to see Kőszeg in winter. You know, which we are, I have a little personal secret and I finish. When I was really young, it was 86 December, I came probably the first time to Kőszeg. And well, there are kind of iskola kirándulások, school, at the excursions. Maybe that was earlier that I was here. But in 86, someone took me out here because we went to a bigger party in Szombathely, so we had time. And that was this view, wow. Which the Kőszeg in winter, wow. Snow on roofs. Wow. That I simply fell in love with the city. It wasn't yesterday, it was 40 years ago. So now, while you have a chance, you are a young man, and please go on.
Thank you very much. My grandmother once gave me an advice. She said, if you want to be heard, you need to stand up. If you want to be seen, you need to stand up. If you want to be heard, you need to speak up. If you want to be loved, you have to deliver a short speech. So I am going to deliver a very short speech. I am very, very happy to be in Kőszeg. It's my second time coming to Hungary. The first time I came to Budapest. And of course, I absolutely enjoyed it. And I'm very, very happy to be here in Kőszeg. And of course, I come from the United Nations, a very important organization that needs to be reinforced, especially at this time when multilateralism is undergoing a tremendous amount of challenge. This is not the most difficult times in which we face. We were there when there was a partition between the East and the West in this part of the world. We were there when there was a partition between India and Pakistan. with almost over 1 million people who died in the process. Were there Vietnam War, the Korean War, the Rwanda genocide. The United Nations has been there, and it has survived because the idea of collectively tackling global problems is a very important one. So I am here to say that the mission, the three critical missions of the United Nations, to promote peace and security, to ensure that human rights are not forgotten, to ensure that sustainable development is actually adhered to, otherwise we are going to destroy our planet. So I'm here to say that United Nations is not some organizations of bureaucrats. And I'm one of those bureaucrats. It's an organization that belongs to all of us, and we need to build it. But I think Central and Eastern Europe is very, very important. I say this because normally when we look at Europe, we see one thing, you know. If you are sitting in a village in South Africa where I come from, Europe is just one place, you know. The concept of East and West, the concept of Central, it just simply does not exist. But in reality, it actually does. And for us to be able to make sense of that and how we can be able to galvanize the ideas of people from this part of the world so that their ideas can take a rightful place in the consciousness of the world, we have to be here. So I'm very, very happy that United Nations University, which is a global organization that is headquartered in Tokyo, so I am in Tokyo, with 13 institutes. We have just added one that focuses on artificial intelligence in Bologna, the 14th one, and the 15th one is going to be in COSAC. I think you can give COSAC an enthusiastic round of applause. And I think what is exciting is the topic that we are going to cover here. I'm an engineer. I studied mechanical engineering and I did a PhD in AI. So I'm actually quite excited about issues of technology. And I think the issues of the interface of technology with peace and security is very important. Wars are much more dangerous today because of the technology that lies in people's hands. And therefore, the issue of nuclear non-proliferation treaty becomes very, very important. AI is creating weapons, and I have to be careful here, the bishop is here. The bishop is here, you know. These technologists do not know ethics. They do not know ethics, not necessarily because they are ignorant of ethics. It's because ethics is never taught. I was in an engineering class. People are not going to bring a bishop to come and teach you about ethics, you know. And we are finding out today that that is a missing piece that is too important to be left unattended to. We are at a time when autonomous weapons can act independent of human agency. Now, who is responsible when they make mistakes? And who are the engineers who design these systems? What kind of ethical frameworks has influenced them, you know? And unfortunately, the answers are actually quite disappointing. So we need to integrate people from different strands of thinking. The Industrial Revolution emphasized too much on specialization. That Adam Smith used to say that you have to get somebody who just do one thing and does it so well. And the collection of all these people who have just been trained to do one thing will increase the efficiency of production. But the efficiency of production came at the cost of human life. And therefore, it is important that that person who is sitting and specializing in one area must understand society in its totality. The human dimension, the technological dimension, the political dimension, and so on and so forth. So the topic of technology for peace and security is very, very important. And we need to ensure that as we move forward, and I can even imagine some of the key elements of our institute here. I think the first element is that it needs to reinforce the values that are going to make the world a better place. And as a UN official, I always say that our values are derived from two documents. The UN Charter and the Declaration of Human Rights. But as a person who was raised in the Lutheran Church, I would say, actually, there is even a bigger document. The bishop knows what that document is. And of course, if you look at some of the core elements that you see in the Declaration of Human Rights are not new concepts. They are very, very old concepts. The concept of the principle, the golden rule, the idea that do unto others as they would have do it to you. It's a very important rule, and it's a fundamental principle of the Declaration of Human Rights. So as we establish this institute, the core values that underline the technologies that are going to be used to promote peace and security we must be very, very clear on those values. And the second element is actually the issue of human behavior. I talk about human behavior. I have to take into account the historical context of this part of the world, because human behavior does not mean social engineering. Because we know leaders who would socially engineer people so that they become demigods. And that is why the values, the issue of the values becomes very, very important. Human behavior basically means we need to shape the human so that they understand their responsibilities in society. And as educators, we know the best way to do that is through education. Broad education that is able to not only take into account the intellectual aspect of a human being, but also the role of that human being in society, to build a society that respect, that promote peace and security, that respect human rights, that understand that development must not come at the expense of other important factors, whether it is the environment, whether it is people, and so on and so forth. Then the third element is the issue of incentives. One economist was once asked a question: describe the whole of economics with one word. And this answer was, I think it is her answer. Why do we always think it's he? Her answer was incentives. How do we incentivize people to do the right things? And incentives can be negative, it can be positive. And for those of you who live in democracies like here, every now and then you go to the polls to incentivize your leaders, you know, to reinforce whatever you believe in. Those are very important aspects of being a citizen. And that should not be taken for granted. There are many people around the world who do not have that right, you know. So the Institute must help us formulate and design proper incentives that will ensure that we use technology responsibly to promote peace and security. And then, of course, the issues of policies and regulations. The United Nations just adopted a 40-people entity called the Scientific Panel on AI. It's just an example that are going to formulate some of these policies that are going to work for all of us. Laws and standards. The European Union has a very important act called the EU Act, the AI Act in the European Union. We're going to test some of its assumptions to see how they can actually be put into implementation, and how we can be able to use the learnings from the European Union to the rest of the world. Because you have many, many parts of the world where the average politician is not able to formulate a policy on technology. And it's not just people in the global south. We saw it on CNN in American Congress when the big techs went to testify. It was a one-sided context because, you know, they just knew much more than the lawmakers. And this institute here should assist us to do that. But most importantly, this institute should work with other organizations, other universities. I'm very glad, Rector Magnificus, you are here and you are going to collaborate with us. Our political leaders are here, and so on and so forth. Because the challenges that we face require all of us to come together and untangle some of the complexities, because there are always complexities that we are going to encounter when we are trying to make these things actually work. Now, to take the advice of my grandmother that my speech must be short, I am very, very happy to be here. I think COSAC is an excellent place to be here. We couldn't have chosen a right venue. It's almost at the crossroads between so many different countries.
5 minimum. Yeah.
Exactly. You know.
Slovakia, Austria,
and all this, and it's going to be, and when I think of where it is, it has to become a multiple tentacles. That's right. That is able to help sense what is going on globally, process it in terms of its knowledge capacity, as well as the publications that are going to come out of here, so that the world can actually be a better place. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Marwala, for the most encouraging words. And now I would like to ask my friend, Péter Balázsy, who is the representative of County Vas, where you are. This county is called Vas, Iron, the Iron County. There's a lot of iron in the red wine here. So, bibendum est comes soon. Péter is the public notary, one of the highest position. Yeah? But there's also an old friend, and he knows very well what we are doing here. Péter, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, 2 personal points. Oh, it's okay. In '86, I was a newborn baby. And the second, my first official event was in 2014, the official book launch of the creative region between Kőszeg and Szombathely, published by Ferry, the craft.
Everyone should know this. Craft.
Yeah. First of all, my name is Péter Balázsy. I'm working as the head of the Vas County office, one of the biggest international player in the region. Probably that's one of the reasons why Mr. Béla Básti, the mayor of the town, suggested me as one of the who make this welcome speech. No, I have a formal welcome speech too. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends, it is my great honor to welcome you to the official opening of the 8th UNESCO Winter School here in Kőszeg. We gather today in a town whose history, cultural richness and intellectual spirit make it an ideal home for dialogue, reflection and forward-looking collaboration. Your presence here affirms the importance of this event, not only for Kőszeg, but for Vas County and for the entire Veszprém region, which increasingly stands as a bridge between cultures, disciplines and nations. Over the past years, this winter school has grown into a respected platform, where scholars, students, policymakers and practitioners come together to explore the challenges and opportunities of our times. This year's program continues that tradition with a remarkable diversity of perspectives and a shared commitment to understanding the world more deeply and probably shaping it more responsibly. Yet this gathering is more than an academic exercise. It is a statement of intent. It signals that our region is ready to take on a larger role in the global exchange of knowledge. It demonstrates that we believe in the power of education, research, and international cooperation to transform communities and to build a more resilient future and a more resilient region. In this spirit, allow me to highlight a development of exceptional significance, the ongoing preparations for the establishment of the United Nations University campus in Kőszeg. This initiative represents a once-in-a-generation opportunity. I hope so. It will place Kőszeg among the select cities worldwide entrusted with hosting United Nations academic institution dedicated to addressing global challenges through research, innovation and capacity building. The presence of such an institution would not only elevate the international visibility of our town, it would also strengthen the intellectual and economic fabric of the entire region too. It would attract talent, foster partnership, and create an environment where ideas can flourish and where long-term development is grounded in knowledge, creativity, and global engagement. Events like this winter school are essential stepping stones on this path. They cultivate the networks, the expertise, and the shared vision that make ambitious projects possible. They help us demonstrate that Kőszeg is not merely a picturesque town with a proud past, but a dynamic center with a strategic future, a place where global issues can be discussed with depth and where innovative solutions can take shape. This winter school embodies precisely a spirit. It brings together individuals who are not afraid to ask difficult questions, to challenge assumptions and to imagine new possibilities. It creates a community of learning that extends far beyond the duration of this program, influencing research agendas, policy debates, and personal trajectories long after the closing session. For our region, this is not simply an academic benefit. It is a strategic investment. The long-term development of West Pannonia depends on our ability to cultivate knowledge-based growth, to attract and retain talent, and to position ourselves as a hub of innovation and international cooperation too. Initiatives like this winter school and the possible United Nations University are the pillars of that vision. They help ensure that our regions remains competitive, connected and forward-looking in a rapidly changing world. Ladies and gentlemen, as we open this year's programs, I would like to express my gratitude to all those who have contributed to making this event possible. The organizers, the partners, the lecturers, and of course for the participants who bring energy, curiosity and commitment to every sessions. Your work strengthens not only the economic community but the broader social and economic fabric for our region. I encourage each of you to make the most of the coming days, to engage deeply, to exchange ideas freely and to build connections that will endure. Let this winter school be a source of inspiration, a catalyst for collaboration, and a reminder that even uncertain times, the pursuit of knowledge remains one of the most powerful forces for progress. With this, I'm pleased to declare the 8th UNESCO Winter School is in Kőszeg officially open. I wish you all a productive, enriching, and memorable programs. Thank you very much.
Next stage is almost semi-official. We gave this the mic, please. Thank you. I need to be recorded. that we're working for the future. So the next stage is almost official. Colloque panel led by Jody Jensen. So please, the panelists, come out, and Jensen Jody is going to introduce them properly. Meanwhile, just to tell you, we have chosen this not too modest title for this winter school, Lasting Peace and Human Security. So please digest this very simple ideas together.